Hello, I am here today with Red Boswell, and Red is the president at the International Franchise Professionals Group. So I've had the absolute pleasure of getting to know you over the last few years now. So I really appreciate you joining me today. So thank you so much.
Honored, excited, Lindsay. Thanks for having me on here.
Yeah, no, the pleasure is all mine. Promise. So as you know, I've got a few questions for you today just to get to know a little bit more about you and kind of your journey through franchising. So how about we just dive right in and you can just start by telling us about your personal journey, like how did you get into the world of franchising and, eventually build or, take your leadership role in IFPG.
I'll do my best, and we have 5 hours, right?
You betcha.
You
I know,
betcha.
I was going to say, I know you've got quite the story. Try to sum it
Um,
up.
so always been very entrepreneurial, adventurous, and the most jobs they just repelled me. I want a different adventure every day, and so back in '98, a little while back before you were born, perhaps, in '98, I started four companies while I had a job, and one of those companies just wouldn't die. Most companies fade away pretty fast, can't make it happen, whatever. One was trickling along, and so I started diving deeper and deeper, quit my job, went full time, and ultimately went to sell that company. It was doing, I think, 400,000 gross a year, netting around 200. It was a nice little service business, and the fella that I hired to sell it, he was more than a business broker. He was a consultant. He started analyzing that business and said, "Boy, you got something really serious here. You got ops manuals. Nobody
Yeah.
has ops manuals at that size. You got a plan here. You got a marketing strategy. You got great intellectual property." And so he said, "We got to take this national. Don't sell it. Take it national." And I'm like, "I don't know how to do that. What does that look like? Do you license it? Do you get corporate investors and give away equity? I don't want to give away control." And ultimately, it's been about 2 years studying franchising and going to seminars and all that. And so I said, "Let's franchise it. This is my dream." Man, back in college, I got in Amway, and that really changed my life all the way. I mean, hardcore changed it. It was like a cult to me. I lived it, breathed it. It was helping other people achieve their dreams through business ownership. And I fell in love with that. So didn't work out with Amway, as everybody says, but the idea stuck with me. Books, tapes, functions, listening, success principles. And so when I saw franchising, I was just like, "Oh my gosh, this is helping other people achieve their dreams through business ownership. This is
Yeah.
so cool." And yet it's much more structured and much more consumer oriented protection efforts through the government than the network marketing stuff. And so I was like, "God, this is like answer to prayer. This is so cool." And ultimately started franchising that. In 2005, awarded my first franchise and went on through this menial, unsexy service business, work from home. I awarded 148 franchises in 28 states in about 3.5 years,
God,
64.
amazing.
It was a blessing. Loved it to death. Learned a lot. Made a lot of mistakes, but that was the impetus for where I am today. When I sold that in 2010, I started helping other businesses franchise. Started helping them market, helping them get franchisees. The whole gamut around initial ops and fran dev and marketing. Well, the wife is not so entrepreneurial, and she really wanted me to get a more consistent cash flow, shall we say. So I
No.
took the role as chief development officer of a global brand for North America, and then and really launched that brand, relaunched it, if you will, for about 3 years. Had a blast. And so when I was interviewing with their CEO, I said, "Hey, so how are y'all getting leads today to buy franchises?" And he said, "Well, Red, we're working with brokers." That's the word he used. We use consultant or advisor. And okay, Lindsay, when you're interviewing for a job, you typically don't laugh out loud at the guy you're interviewing with. But I laughed out loud. I said, "You got to be kidding." He's like, "What?" And I said, if you hire me, I just want to tell you, I'm getting rid of the brokers.
Yeah.
Consultants are not where it's at for me. This is a decade ago." And he's like, "Really? Tell me more." And I said, I'm a marketer. I'm a sales guy. I'm a process oriented business builder. I don't need some overpaid third parties that don't know my brand trying to get me leads. And he's like, "All right, I like the sound of that. I got the job. Well, I had to restructure the whole, department, create collateral and get processes. And so I was getting some leads from brokers. I was getting some leads from portals, getting some leads from SEO, as we all do. And I started going, wow, these leads are good. These leads speak English. They have money. They know what we do.
Yeah.
They don't think they applied for a job. I mean, I really fell in love. It's a total 180. I saw why these consultants were making what they make and the value they brought. And I was like, all right, I'm all in. I'm getting in with all of them. I'm going to their conferences. I'm sponsoring. I'm going super hardcore. And I just absolutely fell in love with franchise consultants and what they do for franchisors. And so, again, it's a long answer, but fast forward a few years, I left a global role as global chief development officer of a global brand, and CEO there for a little bit. And I thought I'd get another CEO or CDO role. And along came a consultant group. They tried to get me to be their president. I was intrigued. I was honored. Was not a good fit for my culture and what I was looking to do with my life. But then came IFPG. And
There you
boom,
go.
I'm like, you got to be kidding. Wow, this is too good to be true. Two different consulting groups asked me to be their president. I was on cloud nine, and it has been the best 6.5 years of my life since coming on as president with IPG.
That is amazing. And that is quite the journey. But it sounds like, you obviously have learned a lot along the way, and now here you are. I know I love IFPG.
Well, we love working with you guys. Schoolie Mitch is fantastic. You do such a great job. The consultants, so much of the relationship, the success of a franchisor working with referral consultants is the FranDev reps, those VPs and directors. You can have the greatest brand in the world, but if the consultant doesn't believe in you, Lindsay, you're not getting the leads. You're not getting candidates.
Right.
They will not send them to you. They want somebody they know, trust, believe in. It's going to freaking frack well and make it happen together. And then the Z is going to come back for more later because you did such a great job. And that is Schoolie Mitchell all day long.
Well, thank you. Yeah, no, building good relationships is definitely very important.
Yeah.
So what inspired you to start, well, I guess you kind of already went into that, but what kind of inspired you to kind of get to where you were today? I guess you kind of said it was already in your, what you were doing. Was there like a certain defining moment that you were like, IFPG is where I need to be? What was that defining moment for you?
Well, I'll take you back before I fully answer it. So in fourth grade, we're like 9-10 years old.
Yeah.
I'm at a big public elementary school, and the school year had started. And way back in the day, a really cool thing was pencils. I don't even know if they use pencils anymore, but pencils were cool if you had a cool pencil. Well, what was the coolest pencil in the world was NFL pencils. And I was down in Houston with the Houston Oilers, going way back. Earl Campbell. And so I went to some little 5 and dime with my mom across town, and they had NFL pencils. Well, I'm like, oh my gosh, I love those. So I grabbed some NFL pencils, and all my friends were dying to have them. They were offering me money for my NFL pencils, especially the Houston Oilers and the Steelers pencils. So I was like, I'll take money. I don't need pencils that bad. Let's go. And I convinced my mom that the next week, take me back there. And I borrowed some money from her, my grandparents, and I bought every NFL pencil set they had. And didn't tell my friends, of course, where I got them. You got to have the exclusivity. I set up distributorships, franchises in every one of the classrooms, 4th grade, 5th grade, 3rd grade. I was getting a little royalty override. It was so cool. Now, the Federal Trade Commission still hasn't caught up with me on that, so mum's the word. But even back then, I had an inkling of what it's like to help other people, even in 4th grade, achieve their dreams through business ownership. And so it was cool. It was fun. And I was a rock star with my, Houston Oiler pencils for a while. And that always stuck with me as well. So again, fast forward. IFPG becomes a calling. I talked to Don, and I had always seen myself on the Zor side. I wasn't going to go to that supplier world, the dark side, if you will. Right. But Don started talking to me about, Red, this is 6+ years ago, we have 300 brands, and you can be an impactor. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me, I don't think he meant to do this, but you've heard the story of Steve Jobs with Apple. He calls up the president, I think, or maybe CEO of Pepsi, the drink, PepsiCo. And he's trying to sell that guy on becoming the CEO or president of Apple, running side by side with Steve Jobs. And he said to the guy, do you want to sell sugar water or do you want to change the world? And Don sensed my passion. Don is our founder of IPG. He sensed my passion for franchising, for changed lives, for impacting. And he said, Red, you realize with us, you're not just impacting or representing one brand or maybe 4 or 6 if you get with a larger group or umbrella. You're impacting hundreds of brands and tens of thousands of lives. And I was like, man, he opened up my eyes and he said, we will constantly improve. We will always do what's right. We will give, and we will be the most attractive opportunity for the best consultants. And I'm like, wow, tell me more. And we started talking about our model and how he had structured it around not taking any commission from the consultant. And I was just like, Don, nobody knows that. We got to get the word out. And he's like, well, Red, I'm not much of a communicator and you are. You're the face of the company if you come on board and you'll get the word out. I was like, dude, high five, let's go. And we've went from, back then there was maybe 8 consultant groups. We were probably in the top 6. We were like number 6 out of 8. We were nothing really special from a volume and reputation standpoint. But we started elevating our model and attracting the best consultants and recruiting more consultants. Zor's heard about the deals, and it's just been an awesome spiral of success with IPG, of course, elevating us to the top brand in the industry.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. All the way back to grade 4. I love that. Yeah. If I think back to like grade 4, I remember it was, what was it? Pogs. And everyone wanted some of those and like bikinis or whatever. So that is a really neat story.
Did you ever have the bracelets that you would like make bracelets and sell bracelets? My kids did that for years. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I used to also draw pictures and sell them on the corner.
Whoa.
Yes, I was also an artiste. Yes. So we've all got to.
You have to be real clear. Don't just tell people you're working on the corner.
Yeah, I know. That's just where I set up my stand, I swear.
I was working with my mom on the corner.
Yeah. It's a family business.
Love it. Nice.
So what do you think has been the biggest key to your success in this space?
Hard work and caring. I had on my office wall when I was a franchisor for about 7 years, it said right when you walk in, our franchisees don't care how much we know until they know how much we care. I truly believe that. Every team member I have, I grade them on their care scale. Do they care? If there's problems, if they're doing weak, if they care, they will overcome them. They will learn, they will grow, they will pivot. If they don't care, it doesn't matter. And so I feel like I know I care. And when you care, they sense it and they will work harder. The franchisees will work harder, the consultants. And so I care and I work my tail off every single day and with integrity. And so I didn't prep for these questions. It came to me right away. I care and I work my tail off.
And honestly, you can tell. And I love that too, because you can tell when someone cares and people follow that, right? If there is like one person that is just kind of like, they're not doing what they're supposed to, or it's just like straight up, a slap in the face almost. It's like, oh, well, then that could be like poison, right? And spread through. So if you have like a good solid leader that cares and shows that they appreciate the others that care and do a good job, then that will, set the rest of people up for success. So I absolutely love that and know that it's true and believe in that too, 100%. Now, what makes a franchise concept stand out to you? Something with real growth potential.
Do they care? No. So that is such a giant question, Lindsay, and it's a good one because it ultimately comes back to part of the answer is the Z. It's got to be a good fit for the Z. So the candidate, the franchisee, we call them Zs. Are they a good fit? Because a lot of franchise opportunities are not a good fit for a lot of candidates. So it's got to be a good fit. But once we know it's a good fit, what stands out? Well, they have a super successful model. My goodness, those unit level economics matter so much. If you don't have strong unit level economics, nothing else matters. About a decade ago, I was training news master licensees around the globe, and I created this. I don't have it on my wall anywhere. I got my walls are covered with franchise stuff, but it's a pyramid of priorities, sort of like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and everything goes back to unit level economics. The franchisee, you won't succeed as a franchisor if your Z's aren't happy, and your Z's will not be happy unless they're making money and have a good life. And so everything a Zor needs to do is around helping their Z's be successful. Now, if you don't have any Z's, how do you do that? It doesn't matter. They need to understand, the candidates need to understand that you as a Zor are committed to their success as much as they are, because they're never going to work as hard as you. That was a hard lesson I learned. Boy, I thought every Z I brought on would work as hard as I did, and I never had a single one achieve what the success I achieved, even though they could do it easier because I'd already laid the groundwork. They just didn't work as hard. So a Zor needs to understand that and work just as hard for their success with the systems and the support to help them be successful. Beyond that, accountabilities, having a franchise advisory council to help guide you. Don't be a know-it-all and a control freak. Zor is so important. I see that time and time again. You know what else I see a lot that helps me understand if a Zor is going to be successful is I'll talk to Zors on a daily basis that goes back to they think they know it all. That Zor, and maybe they do. That's cool. You're the founder. You know it inside and out. But guess what? You gotta delegate. I was not the best at delegating because I thought, well, it's a bit of a know-it-all. I was like, man, I'm going to train the new Z's. I'm going to sell the new Z's. Nobody's passionate as I am. Nobody knows the business as good as I do. That's okay. You can train some people. Stop trying to do it all. About in an early grave, I was working so hard and so passionate and so caring about it that it's not healthy. And working with consultants, you know that consultants they want to know you. Lindsay is a ultimate, like a rock star friend dev rep, but they question when a founder, they still have their original business. Now they're a franchisor, and now they're trying to do fran dev, manage their team, build the marketing efforts, support the training, accounting. You can't do it all. And so a Zor that understands that and will take a back seat, trust in a great team like you, Lindsay, like Miss Sales. I love her last name. Sales. That makes such a difference that they can delegate to a rock star team and know the rock star team is going to deliver properly. Those are some, I know I'm all over the place on that, but there's not one answer to really truly understanding if a Zor is going to be super successful or not.
Yeah, fair enough. Joanne gets it all the time too about her last name. Loves it. It's perfect.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I agree. And it's good to know, being part of a team too, knowing that, the boss has delegated all of this and has full trust. Because then I think that does make people care more, right? It makes them work harder as well.
Y'all are a great example. Dennis is in the weeds. Dennis is there. He's at expos. I see Dennis at IFPG retreat. Dennis Schooley mentioned Dennis. He is all over it. So he's not giving up and living, on the island eating bonbons. He's still in it, but he's got a rock star team around him that are making it happen, even when he's not or when he can't.
Yeah. I mean, no matter how hard we try to get him to go away, right? He'll take some time, but he's a machine. Still around. Yep.
The machine. Yeah.
But that's another good thing too, is that we don't mind that he is around.
That's right.
So again, just all about, good teamwork and caring. So how does IFPG approach matching prospective franchisees with the right opportunity? I guess what I'm asking is, like, what is the process?
Well, I'm in a new office, and every 20 minutes my lights go out. If I don't walk around, I'm trying to get that fixed. So I'm going to jump right over here, get that light turned back on. All I did was have to wave my arms.
Yeah, gotta save energy. Hey, those are great lights right there.
I guess so, but so annoying. They're supposed to change it to 2 hours from 20 minutes. That's ridiculous. I've even, you know what I did? I brought in an oscillating fan, thinking maybe the movement would keep the lights going, but I guess it's not moving enough. And so, fun times in the.
Maybe if you pick it up and throw it. No.
Dude, I have tried that. I've literally, thrown it, hit the thing. There may be some kind of heat element to it where it's,
maybe.
I don't know, but hitting it and throwing hats at it doesn't work either.
That's funny.
Well, how does IFPG consultants, how do we ultimately make great matches? So the consultants are not selling anything because they're not closers, but I do tell them, look, you're selling yourself. You are a trusted advisor, and that candidate needs to see you as such. So if selling anything, you're selling yourself as that trusted advisor expert that they can rely on for an enormous life decision. Once that relationship is becoming established, they are educating that candidate thoroughly on what franchising is and isn't, because most people are quite clueless on what it is and isn't. As they get more clarity around that, then they start asking them and getting to know them through the process, asking those questions around lifestyle desires, geographic preferences, financial concerns, industries that they're attracted to, the time allotment they can give back, semi-passive, etc., full-time dedication. Do they like managing people? Exit strategies down the road. It's a true holistic approach to guiding them to the right opportunities. And when they do that appropriately, our system, pretty heavy on the technology, allows them to do some narrowing down of matching. Got some AI tools now integrated into it to make the matches even more personalized.
Oh, wow.
Territory check, making sure the area is available. Don't want somebody falling in love with something that's not even available. Then ultimately making that introduction. And the analogy I use is, you as a consultant, IPG consultant, are driving a car. You got your candidate right here. He or she are in the passenger seat with you, and you're driving that car for a week or two. But you then leave and cleave. You give them to a franchisor. You get out. You don't go away. You're still in the back seat now. That franchisor is driving that car. Your candidate's still in the passenger seat, and your candidate is going through that franchisor's discovery process. You are their wingman. You're helping, you're guiding, you're holding accountable, you're massaging, you're comforting. You're their accountability partner, if you will, both for the ZOR and for that consultant. And ultimately, everybody wins. It's a more pleasurable experience. It moves faster, and lives are changed, communities are impacted through it. So we're very proud of how we train our consultants. And yet, one more thought, we give a lot of flexibility. You may do your education piece much different than I do, or vice versa. That's okay. And you may move them through after the third call rather than the fifth call. That's okay. So different candidates, as you adapt to them, our consultants adapt to the candidate and adapt to their own lifestyle and how they prefer to communicate. The flexibility of the IPG consultant, what I call libertarianism. We every tool, every support you could ever dream of, every training on every business day of the year, practically, we're doing for them for free. But guess what? We are not cracking the whip. We are not telling them what you got to do and not do. We're simply providing them every resource they could ask for, and ultimately giving them an opportunity to succeed or fail or make 10,000 or 10 million. It's so the flexibility is there. Libertarianism.
Yes. Yeah. Right on. No, I mean, yeah, I can tell, just by the people that I've worked with. I mean, they you can tell they've gone through a process that is, very thorough, has had great direction, lots of communication. And I like that, the IFPG consultant, like you said, is in the back seat and they're there for support, the massaging, have you. So yes, that's great. And then you can still rely on them to even communicate with them just about little things. So it's everyone kind of working as a team. So, and I think that works the best way.
It really does.
So,
the average from our stats, the average time from first conversation to the awarding of a franchise is 50% faster, or half the time, as with candidates who did not work with an IPG consultant. That's amazing. Because they're entering a world they know nothing about, and they're saying, "Oh, I want a Chick-fil-A," and then they realize they don't want a Chick-fil-A, and it's taken them forever to find something. They don't have the confidence, they don't have the certainty. They're not a good match. Typically, the ZOR is a foreign, untrusted salesperson rather than that trusted advisor approach. So, yeah, they everybody wins in many ways working with consultants and great ZORs.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess from your point, like, what do people misunderstand about franchising, especially first-time buyers or investors? Like, what's kind of, I guess, the most common misconception that people have about franchising?
Well, a lot of folks that just see it as restaurants, of course, brick and mortars
Yeah.
are a big misconception. They don't understand how many lower investment, mobile, work from home, and still very structured and successful businesses, very profitable businesses are indeed
Hmm.
out there. We really open their eye to that. Also, the non-sexy approach. So many folks
Hmm.
are like, I want a fill in the blank, super cool, sexy business. Sexy meaning, brag about it to the world.
Yep.
But there's so many quote unquote unsexy businesses that are profitable and give you the lifestyle you're looking for and can ramp quickly. And so meeting that candidate where they're at and giving them the options that they had no clue, that's a big benefit to working with consultants. But it's
Yeah.
also a misconception amongst buyers that they don't have a inkling of an idea how many opportunities and how broadly the opportunities could be. Also, a misconception is money. You think they got to have all the money. Man, there's
Yeah.
lenders all over the place. And the fact that you can do a ROBS, a rollover for business startup using your own 401k dollars, tax free and penalty free. Oh man, that blows people's minds when they find out about that oftentimes.
Yeah.
That's another misconception. Also, a lot of folks will enter the process thinking they're going to get sold. It's a high pressure. It's not. It's a mutual agreement, a mutual approval process, which surprises a lot. And a lot of folks will enter it. These are the wealthier types, thinking they just throw some money at something and it will be successful. They've got, even on the semi-passive, semi-absentee, you got to work it. You got to build it. You got to invest your part of your life into it. It's not going to build it on its own. And so those, I know I hit probably 5 or 6 misconceptions we see every day around
Oh
franchising.
yeah. Yeah. Those, I would say those are probably some that I hear the most about as well. Um, so yeah, it's good to be able to educate people in that, and have them being able to listen, or like wanting to listen, and be like, oh yeah, be knowing that they don't have to have a quadrillion dollars to get into something for themselves is like, oh sweet, what a relief. Maybe I can do this.
Right.
um so how has the franchise consulting space evolved over the last like 5 to 10 years in your eyes anyway?
Sure. Well, it's becoming much more mainstream. There hasn't been one big explosion of it. It's month after month, year after year, more and more mainstream. I liken it unto real estate agents 80 or 100 years ago. I don't know when real estate agents really started becoming mainstream, but today, who doesn't buy a house with a real estate agent? I mean, that's the norm. I mean, everybody, 95% or more, use a real estate agent. Especially, it's like 99.9% if you're moving to an area you know nothing about,
Right.
aka franchising. And so,
Yeah.
if you look at buying a house, buying a franchise is a bigger decision than buying a house, because it's not just where you're going to live, it's what you're going to do every day. And it may even cost more than a house sometimes. And so it's such an enormous decision. And we've all lived in houses or apartments. We've lived in a domicile. We haven't owned a franchise, most of us. And so it's a foreign area. Seems real cool, seems attractive, seems like it helped me achieve my dreams and my lifestyle goals, but I really don't know it. I don't know my options. I don't know much of anything other than McDonald's is a franchise, right? And
Yeah.
so the idea of, well, let me work with a trusted expert third party advisor, then I don't have to pay a penny. They get paid
Hmm.
after the deal's done, just like a real estate agent. My gosh, that's a quadruple win right there for all parties involved. And so that is becoming, to your question around what we seen evolve. We've just seen it continue to grow and grow and grow, and more deals, higher percentage of the overall deal count across North America, especially Europe and the rest of the world are also growing in the franchise consulting arena. They're just about 20 years behind us in that evolution of growth. So North
Hmm.
America, consultants are the number one source of awarded franchises in all of North America, other than the natural organic leads that come in. So it's
Right.
been very exciting to see that world evolve. The government continues to try to get in and more involved, but through different administrations, that has
Right.
been held back. And so they're not taxing us. They're not making some national certification or licensing. Hallelujah. Some states try to be more controlling and yank a little bit of tax revenue. We've seen that occur a little more lately, but overall, it has been beautiful to see that libertarian philosophy throughout our industry of franchise consulting and the growth we're encountering.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Even, just the last 5 years since I started in the whole franchise world too, I'm starting to notice that it is definitely becoming more of a thing, and that's great. So just it's going in the right direction anyway.
Somebody said, Chris Brown I was talking to the other day. He's got his own FSO now, and he's been a friend dev for 30 years. And he said, Red, I tell every brand that wants to work with me, it's not a question. If you want to sell franchises, you have to work with franchise consultants. That's what the world has come to. It's not should I, it's you do it.
You just do it. Yeah, exactly. So what do you think some emerging trends are that you're kind of noticing or seeing in franchising right now in terms of sectors, models, or, demographics?
My gosh, it warms my heart to continue to see new wild opportunities that you just went, oh my gosh, even that is franchise now. Awesome. I mean, I just got off a call with a babysitting nanny franchise.
Oh, wow.
I love that. I mean, I needed a truly trusted babysitter nanny when my 3 kids were little. I didn't get a date with my wife maybe once a year because we had no one we could trust. So that's an example of, wow, making the world better, community by community, that rolls.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, here's another one that's crazy to me. There's a couple of, they call it bio waste cleanup, but it's crime scene cleanup and hoarder cleanup. Oh. Those are you look at it and go, whoa, who would buy that? Oh my gosh. They are profitable. They are in super need. I mean, if you have a death of a family member at their home, I hate to say the word clean up, but are you going to go do that? Absolutely not. Absolutely. But it has to be done. There are people that do it nowadays. Or hoarding. We see the TV shows around hoarders, and they are rampant. And that's similar to crime scene cleanup, frankly, needed big time. Can't sell a house without it unless you're giving the house away without getting it cleaned up. And so those are 2 just random crazy examples of the just continued growth of what else can we franchise? My gosh, that is crazy. But they have systems, they have intellectual property, they have training, they have billing processes. They've got everything you need. I just touched on a few around a model. And now they've got the national accounts and on and on and on. It's just awesome to see another super cool opportunity arise in franchising. So those are a couple of cool trends I've seen.
Yeah, that is definitely interesting. And especially the nanny one, because childcare is hard to find. My goodness.
You're a month or 2 away from having your own?
Yes. So I'm going to have to make sure I lock down some good help.
Yes. I don't know if they're in Canada yet, but I'll make sure they get up there.
Yeah, tell them to head this way. Perfect. So how is technology changing how franchises are bought or even scaled or, operated today?
I tell you what, remember, you don't remember the old days when the UFOC, now it's called FTD, we had to print them and mail them. Snail mail, Lord help us, that was a nightmare. Snail mail,
I can't imagine.
multiple UFOCs or even FTDs in the early days. That's one thing that finally the governments woke up to digital disclosures. I love Dropbox and Dropbox Sign and DocuSign, where you can just send contracts and they can digitally sign. Boy, that's been a blessing. Big time technology. AI, all the rage. We've incorporated AI into our matching, into our communications. It allows the consultants to get their emails written faster and easier and more thoroughly to the candidates, to the ZORs. Lots of cool things we're doing with AI. Excited about that. Our lead generation, consultants are constantly asking, or if they're looking to be a consultant, how am I going to get leads? Well, we've owned a lead providing company for about 9 years, and that continues to evolve as we reach out and get our message of potentially learning about buying a franchise out to more and more folks. We've also been able through technology to incorporate third parties and even white label the buying and selling of leads, which to us is so time intensive and expensive that the use of technology, which ultimately benefits not just the buyer of the franchise, but the consultants who's looking for great leads. So we're incorporating technology all over the place into our big retreat coming up. We've got some cool sessions around AI and learning and growing around more efficiently running your business. Heck, every business day of the year, we're doing online training and tutorials and impact sessions and virtual networkings around utilizing technology better. So yeah, that's something that, although mostly above my pay grade, we're doing a bunch to make sure it works well for our consultants and Z's.
Yeah, it's crazy how much, like you said, like DocuSign had, like that was kind of coming out when I was first like starting with Schoolie Mitchell, and I was just like, that seems very convenient. Huh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's a game changer.
Yeah. So yeah, good thing with technology. It's not like sometimes it's a pain in the butt, but when it works, it's great.
Yeah.
So how do I guess younger entrepreneurs, like the millennials and the Gen Zs differ from older franchise buyers in what they're looking for? Like, what is the big difference that you're noticing there?
That's such a it's like a clickbait online all the time. It's like people love to throw out millennials or Gen Z are a completely different buyer type. I'm sorry to burst that hype bubble, but people are people. Yeah, there's maybe some trends around. They want more flexibility. They want more freedoms. They want more ability to do a work-life harmony, which I'm a massive fan of. But people want to be communicated with. They want transparency. They want great validation from current Zs. They want minimum risk. They want their life to be in their control. I mean, that's never changed.
Right.
It may get a little stronger as the youth start seeing. Certainly, COVID opened the eyes to a lot of people of all ages to working from home and working remotely. And so, yeah, there's some small differences, but when you hear someone say everything has changed, I just turn my head and walk away. I'm not interested in your hype, because people are people and they want their lives, they want their freedom, they want flexibility, they want profitability, they want to make a positive impact, they want to control their family. I mean, so that, going back to, don't tell me what I got to do, give me options through my libertarian philosophy, is prevailing more and more in society, but we're still people who want opportunities and want to make our own decisions. So
Yep. I can agree with that for sure. I don't think it's much different. I think people are all looking kind of for the same thing. So now I guess, where do you see the franchise industry headed over the next 5 to 10 years?
Every year, there's not going to be some giant explosion and half the world goes franchising, but the beautiful thing, every year it gets better. Every year it grows. Every year we put more back into the GDP of the nations we work in. Every year IPG is seeing significant growth, more consultants, more franchise opportunities. I mean, literally every single year for decades, there have been more franchise opportunities out there. It's never gone backwards. Now, some will close, but even more open. We've seen a broadening of, it's not just the $1 million investments, there's $100,000 investments and below. More than ever, like by far. That's certainly a huge trend. The low investment models have almost taken over, it feels like. But yeah, where is franchising going in the next 5 to 10 years? Unless the world lose their mind and wants more, how do I stay non-political here? They keep freedom-loving folks running the world, and not trying to tax us to death and control us to death, where everybody has to fire their employees and nobody can make a living. So we won't get political, but as long, even when a more controlling political environment is there, the populace is not going to stand for it. They're not going to let even the most controlling and socialistic regimes take away their freedoms So I'm not worried about anything happening in the next 5 or 10 years whatsoever. Consultants are continue to grow, franchises are continue to grow, be more profitable, have a better impact, and have a lot more fun doing it. So my light just went out again. I'm going to turn it back on.
I was going to say that. At least it doesn't, go completely dark. You can still see it, so that's great.
Oh yeah, I've got a light plugged in right here, so it helps.
Oh, there you go. Good. So yeah, I guess last question. I have something you can leave us with. What is one piece of advice you'd give to someone considering investing in a franchise today?
Well, of course, work with consultants.
Yeah.
Find a great consultant. And that's funny because obviously I'm the president of the largest franchise consulting group, but it is absolutely critical to work with a guide who has your best interest at heart. So that would be one. Understand that, yes, the franchisor, you asked for one, I'm giving you multiple.
Go for it.
Understand the franchisor has systems, they have processes, and you need to be able to follow those processes. So if you are a know-it-all, hardcore entrepreneur, you don't need to go buy a franchise. But at the same time, understand that if it is to be, it is up to me. 10 words, all 2 letters. I love that phrase. If I had a tattoo, that's what it would be. If it is to be, it is up to me. And so, yes, you're buying into a model, a system of success, and a ton of support, but you still got to work it, my friends. You got to work it. And when you care and work it hard and have a great model behind you, you're going to have an awesome life.
Yep. Yep. Agree. Yes. And I've definitely heard you say that before. So, yeah, no, this is all like great. I love hearing more about how, other companies do like their processes, and, it really does seem like everyone's on the same page and has like the same goal in mind. So, I really appreciate your time today and sharing like your journey. I always love your energy. I'm definitely going to miss you for the next year. So can't wait to be back.
Next year? You taking a year off?
I'm taking a whole year.
Wow. Is that a Canadian
thing? I'm in Canada, remember?
Is that a Canadian thing? They give you a full year?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
I know.
So Dennis has to pay you.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
I want to have a baby in
keep me on the payroll.
I look like I'm having a baby.
Yeah. He's actually only giving me 2 weeks. So we're fine. I'll be back.
I believe it. That sounds like Dennis.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Well, yeah, thank you so much for your time today, Red. I really appreciate it. And looking forward to seeing you again in person too.
Heck yeah. Well, hopefully that beautiful baby yours comes right before IPG retreat, and I can hear if you want to name it Red, R-E-D.
Yep. Yep. Got it. It better be before the IFPG retreat, because that's at the end of September. Yes. And this is supposed to happen mid-September, so it better be up by then.
Mid-September. You going natural?
We'll see. I don't know. I'm just going to go with the flow.
Nice. Well, don't be afraid of C-sections. My wife had 3 and they were fantastic.
So. Yeah, I know a lot of people that did that too. So good. All right. Well, thanks, Red. We'll catch up with you again soon.
Thanks, Lindsay. See you soon. Bye-bye.